It's the Firebirds Spotlight here on the Firebirds Extra Pregame Show. As always, Sam Levitt here with you. And joining me, a familiar face, Brandon McNitt out of Stony Brook University. You know him from the 2012 Firebirds team. And first, Brandon, how good is it to be back?
It's great to be back. End of the season, my spring season well, so I'm hoping to carry it over here. And it's great to be back. And, guys are great, so it's going to be a good year.
And we know last year it was a fun group of guys, a good group of guys, some really great players on that team. So far, 10 games through the season, what is the difference between this year's team and last year's team?
There's really not much. I mean, you got a team that's so good. There's slight differences, but, last year's team was amazing. This year's team's amazing. It's looking good. The only difference is, a couple things went our way more last year, and we started off, obviously a lot more wins than losses, but we'll eventually pull it together.
Of course, Orleans coming into the night a game over 500. And let's talk about you personally for a second. I mean, how are you a different player from when you got here last year to when now you're here back in Orleans this year?
Well, I learned a lot last year, and I changed a few things over the fall and spring, and this year I increased velo, got a breaking ball, working with change now, and last year didn't really have all those options, but this year hoping to turn over a new leaf and continue how I ended spring and have a good summer.
And what about mechanically? I mean, what are you trying to work on with Kelly Nicholson and Jason Brown? Specifically, what are you trying to work on as a pitcher this summer?
Basically just getting everything going to home plate in one direction and using more lower half push off, and mainly stay on top of the ball too, because sometimes I'll drop my arm and ball will be flat, it'll be up, and that's when you give up hits, is when it's up. And just working on those two things, and it's made a world of difference so far.
Of course, last year you were all alone as a Stony Brook Seawolf here at Eldridge Park with this team. This year you're joined by a teammate of yours, Dan Zamora. You told us you're going to be rooming with him this upcoming year at school. How nice is it to have a familiar face in the dugout?
Oh, it's great, because you could always go to somebody that is almost like family, because you spend so much time with him at school. I'm going to live with him, so it's really nice to have a familiar face and talk about funny stories that happened during the year and stuff. It's a great time.
And obviously, we were just talking before this. You also know David Berg, the righty out of UCLA. Of course, the Bruins, the new 2013 national champions last night in the College World Series. You said you played in high school with him. How happy are you for your old buddy?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic for him. Good for him. And, I played with him and Z. All of us were on the same team, so kind of a bummer he won't be coming out here this summer. But, wish him luck with, Team USA, and want to congratulate him on being a champion. That's great for him.
Once again, Brandon McNitt joining me right now on the Firebirds Extra Pregame Show. Sam Levitt here with you as always. Let's talk about this season for your Stony Brook team. Obviously, in 2012, you guys had such a magical run. What a great year your team had. What was it like coming into this season, having to deal with some expectations?
Well, the expectations were very high, obviously, but people knew that we were a young team. We lost a lot of guys, and we, got rolling late. We didn't get off to a good start. A couple things could have went differently and changed, the first 10 games, but they didn't, and we learned from it. But we return almost everybody next year, so future's looking really bright, which is good. And as a matter of fact, we got 6 or 5 guys up here in the Cape this year, so it's looking good.
So is the hope that really you guys do well out here, develop as players, get some new stuff going, and come back to Long Island in the fall and really have a great season?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to, shock the world again this upcoming year, and now that we got a year under our belt as a team, we'll be closer together, we'll know each other better, and everybody will be more experienced and be more mature on the field, which would be nice.
Well, like you said, his Stony Brook team shocked the world a year ago in the college baseball world. And Brandon McNitt looking to make some waves of his own this season on the Cape. As always, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Once again, that was Brandon McNitt, the righty out of Stony Brook. More Firebirds Extra Pregame coming up after this.